in the United States, you coming and staying there and waiting for the annulment?
No, I don't think so, Meisha.
What's going on, people? We are back again with another Moving Mad video, and this one right here is all about Meisha and Nicola. Now, as you can see right here, Meisha's trying to propose an idea that, listen, at the end of the day, it would be cool if you come to the States, and if you can come there, at least we can still spend some more time together for the 3 months we'd have. Because at this moment in time, it is she's unable to apply for a K1 visa for him purely because they're still waiting for the annulment. And until they get the annulment, well, there's no point of applying for it anyway, which maybe does make sense. So therefore, she's like, we could always apply for a visa and you come in for 3 months. And if he comes for 3 months, well, then at least we'd have time to spend together physically, you know, and we can keep working on our relationship to make it stronger. But obviously, as you heard there, Nicola was like, no. A reaction that definitely Meisha was not expecting. But the question is, though, why has he given the reasons of no?
It's okay. I have to stay for a few months living in here somehow. No, that's not good. Opening door for the devil. And I hate the devil so much because he had me and he had you. And he wants us to see him.
So Nicola is afraid to spend more time with Meisha on a physical basis, you know, on an in-person basis, because he does feel like a sin would happen. And of course, that sin would be intercourse. I mean, listen, I can understand his struggles, but at the same time, though, the whole time that they have been there, they have done well to not be physical in the wrong way. But I understand that there's a big difference with them being there, where he's at, compared to them being in America, because from what I understand, he'd be there for a longer period of time. He'd be there for at least 2.5 months minimum. And therefore, spending time with the woman that you love, the woman that you have now proposed to, and the woman that has said yes to marrying you, I can understand obviously how challenging that can be. But it's kind of crazy though, because despite the fact that he did propose in this episode and they are now engaged, it does feel rather pointless, because the engagement isn't really going to matter at all unless the annulment is actually, you know, approved. So if it's not approved, then this whole engagement situation is pretty much pointless. But I understand why he did it. He did it because he wanted to show initiative that yes, he's invested in his relationship, and yes, he does want to marry her, and yes, he does not want to give up on their relationship, which I do understand, and it is a very good reassuring thing to do, absolutely. But we know that this could easily be overturned if not accepted. But either way, though, we're in the situation right now where he's like, listen, I do not want to play with fire. The devil will test us many, many, many times, and that's just not the kind of fire that I want to play with. I don't want to be spending time with you knowing that I cannot be physical with you. And listen, from a man's perspective, away from religion, I can completely understand. Why would you want to spend time with your woman for months upon ends knowing that you can't even tap that ass? I would understand the struggle, but either way, though, I do also understand the perspective that Meisha's coming from.
Nicola and I share religious beliefs, but we're kind of seeing things a little bit differently here. In my opinion, you just have to make a firm boundary in your relationship that
Despite the fact that I agree and I understand where Meisha's coming from, at the same time, though, I can only honestly say this: the temptation of being with a woman that you love, that you plan to marry, the woman that you find attractive, for months upon end, knowing that you cannot actually be intimate with her, that is one hell of a challenge. But also at the same time, I understand that as a woman, you have your needs too. You have your needs of affection. You know, those needs are where you want to be able to cuddle your man whilst watching TV. You want to go to bed being able to cuddle. You want to be able to walk home, walking from work and have a nice little cheeky kiss, you know. You want to have the ability to just hold hands. Just do all those things that require affection. All those things that make a woman feel appreciated. All those things that make a woman feel loved. And I understand that 100%, that this is what she wants, this is what she desires. But at the same time, though, if Nicola knows that he's probably more likely going to potentially make a sin by sleeping with her before marriage, before the annulment, I can understand how much of a challenge that would be for him and why he doesn't want to go through that. And to be honest with you, I do feel like there's an element of where Nicola doesn't necessarily trust Meisha. And when I say that, what I mean is, I'm convinced that he thinks that if an opportunity came for them to be intimate, she'd be more than happy to go through it 100%. She wouldn't be a woman who'd be like, no, we cannot do this because of our religion. And I feel like if he felt that kind of reassurance from her, maybe, just maybe, he'd be more open to coming to the States on a visitor visa for the time being. And to be honest with you, would I trust Meisha? Not really, to be honest with you. She definitely has a weird about. She definitely has a sexual part of herself, you know what I mean? And I do feel like that she'd be more than happy to take advantage of that, even if it ain't breaking the rules of the religion, if this is a rule. Because again, I don't even know the rules and regulations of the religion, man. But based on him and based on the situation, you can't be doing intimacy before marriage, which I can't see necessarily being a lie. It's a very sticky situation, but as far as I'm concerned, I feel like they are better off they're better off doing what Nicola says, if you ask me. It's better to be safe than sorry, hey.
Try to hold this together and not just, well, I'll see you when I see ya. I'll see you when the annulment's done because I just don't want to be under the same roof as you.
Now, on the other hand, though, when Meisha says this, I'm like, okay, do you know what? She's looking for a certain reassurance. A reassurance that says, hey, it's not a matter of where, you know, I want you to come and stay so we can so we can be intimate and have sins and stuff. It's just a matter of like, yo, like, we are in a long distance relationship. And I don't want to feel like I'm going to see you when I see you. I want to feel like I'm a priority to seeing you. I want to feel like, you know, you want to make the effort to make things work in a certain degree. And I do understand that 100%, and I do agree with her, but at the same time, the situation they're in is not an easy one. They're in a situation where they have to wait months upon ends for their annulment to come through. They're in a situation where if the annulment comes through and it gets denied, guess what? They can't get married. And if they can't get married, then guess what? They're going to have to break up, or either break up or go against the religion. It's one of the two, right? Which, to be honest, the more I think about it, I say to myself, you know what? Maybe it is better off that they do stay apart. Maybe it is better off that they do wait into the annulment. Because look at it this way: if Meisha falls that deeply in love with him even more within the next few months to a year, or however long it takes, because she's spending more time with him physically, that is something that could definitely hurt her in the long term, given that the annulment is rejected. Now, of course, if they'd already been approved for it, then to be honest with you, I'll be like, listen, this guy needs to suck it up and flipping go to the States and spend time with a woman, do you know what I mean? But I do feel like there's a very hit or miss situation in terms of how things could either go south or they could go in the right direction. Honestly, this is a very unusual situation that I've ever come across. So it is very hard to articulate exactly what I think is the best choice necessarily, because I feel like there's pros and cons on both ways. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, if you're looking the other way, yes, you could spend time with him, but I guess the problem is at least you can spend time with him, all right? You know what I mean? It depends on on what gamble you're willing to take. For me personally, I wouldn't even be in this goddamn situation. It's a freaking ridiculous one, to be honest with you, man. Why am I gonna drive myself crazy like this? This is a madness, absolute madness. But anyway, you guys let me know what you're thinking and we'll talk about it. Peace.